Versatex, the all-American rods. Whether it's saltwater or freshwater, Versatex rods are the rods for you. Versatex, known for its high-quality material and workmanship, builds fishing rods that meet the most exacting needs of today's fishermen. Whether you're a saltwater angler in search of tuna or a freshwater fly fisherman, Versatex builds a fishing rod for you. Versatex, American-made for a lifetime. Ask for Versatex at these quality tackle dealers. Hi, this is Bob Murray, and welcome to another edition of Delaware Valley Outdoors. We're here at the sports show, and the sports shows that are showing right now are the spring fever type thing that we have now. Everybody's itching to get out, and the sports shows really get you going. We're going to take a look around at at some of the stuff here at the sports show, the boats, the tackle, there's carving, there's fishing, all kinds of stuff. And we're going to get to that, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll be right back. Welcome to this edition of Delaware Valley Outdoors. Hi, I'm your host Bob Murray, and we're here at the Greater Philadelphia Travel and Sports Show, and we're just going to look around and we're going to give you some shots to see what's going on here. It's a great show, and we'll be showing you some interesting things. So stick along, and we're going to have some fun. The sports show is not only for the young of heart, but also the young. Here some kids really enjoy some of the activities that are available at the sports show. Here a young man catches a very nice trout. At the sports show we also have a large variety of exhibits and live exhibits. Here's one that every hunter will dream to see on opening day of buck season. A variety of wildlife is also shown here at the show. Here we have some ringneck pheasants. At the show, they also have a lot of educational demonstrations going on. Here's one on the birds of prey. Eagles, falcons, very interesting program that they put on for the people that attend the show. And something you don't often see, obviously, that close up are the bald eagle that we have right here now. What a majestic looking bird. A variety of tackle is also displayed at the show. Here we see some customers getting some of their new tackle for the season coming up. Lures are also demonstrated. Here's one that is reported to be a very weedless lure. As you can see, it gets right through all that wood there. Worms, worms, and more worms. A fisherman's delight. Reels of every size and type, bait casting, spin, saltwater, fresh, fly, everything you could possibly want is displayed at the show. Also, tackle companies display their wares too. Here we see the Man's Bait Company with their new line of tackle for 1995. Just walking around the show is an experience in itself. Each display brings something new to you. And I just have a great time looking, enjoying, talking to some people, and just getting out there. Here we have a bunch of outfitters, and obviously they're one of the highlights of this show, where you can travel anywhere from Costa Rica to Canada to Bahamas. They have a trip made for you. Fly tying, very popular nowadays, and we had people who were exhibiting how to tie flies. Fly casting, you can also learn how to fly cast. You meet the best friends here at the show. My friend George and I are just talking about some of the times we went fishing. So if you get a chance, come on to the show and meet my friend George. Right, George? You old devil, you. We're here at another display at the sports show, and I just ran into a very, very unique boat. Saw some of the bass boats, the other fishing boats, but this boat really caught my attention. And I just happened to get Mike here, Mike Ryan with me. Mike, how you doing? Bob Murray.
Nice to meet you,
Mike,
Bob.
tell us about this boat. It's a really interesting boat. It caught my attention. It's not your average fishing boat. Give us a little background on it.
Well, it's basically a copy of a Jonesport lobster boat, somewhere around 1900s. They built different sizes of them. This one right here actually came from a wooden boat they found in a swamp. They patched up all the holes, put it in a mold, made the mold. Before they even floated it, they took it out, and there she is right there.
Okay, so this is basically a working boat, what we call a working boat. A man would go out there and lobster and that kind of stuff. Okay, but what's the practical purpose? We don't lobster too much here in Pennsylvania.
Not in this area, but you've got a lot of fishermen in this area as a recreational boat just for running around the river, doing some fishing, whether it's trolling or bottom fishing or whatever you do. Run this right over the Jersey Shore, and you can do all
you can
kinds
do your crabbing and just in the
Exactly.
bay. And you told me this takes some good waves, though, right?
Absolutely.
So you can.
This is a deep water boat. Even though it has a very shallow freeboard right here, it's a deep water boat. At the same time, you can go into the flats, crabbing or whatever. It only has a 6-inch draft. Pull the motor up, and
you can get into
yourself
some
through
real
flats.
shallow areas and do some real special fishing.
Exactly.
Mike, thank you very much for your time. It's a really unique boat, and I just love it. Thank you very much.
Stopping by, Bob.
Okay. Now this is the way to go camping. Just been in a beautiful luxury motorhome here that's sponsored by the Indian Valley Camping Center, and it's just amazing. This certainly beats sleeping on the ground. Good place to wash up. What a place to have dinner. And enjoyable driving conditions. This could be yours for $75,000. Well, we had a great time at the sports show, and our next stop is the Philadelphia Boat Show. Philadelphia Boat Show, a must for any serious boater. All the top names in boats were represented there. Four Winds, Grady White, Stratus, from the smallest watercraft to the largest ocean-going vessels. They were all a wonderful sight. We even had a chance to talk to some of the dealers. We're here at the Philadelphia Boat Show, and I'm with Ted Terzian. Ted, how you doing? Of Causeway Marine.
How are you?
We're on a very beautiful Stratus boat here for offshore fishing. Ted, just tell me something about what we have on this boat right here.
Okay, this is our 25 walk around. Got a pair of 200 Evinrude Ocean Pros, hard top. It's got a just under 10-foot beam, canyon capable. We sell this boat offshore.
So you can go out to the canyon
Absolutely.
and it's capable of going out and coming back.
That's right.
You mentioned one thing. You said it's a walk-around. What's a walk-around boat for people?
We've got the area here around the cabin. We can actually get out in front and fish. Makes it a lot.
So if you have a big fish on, or more people can fish the whole area.
Drift fishing mainly also helps you out as far as anchoring and docking.
Okay, so yeah.
Get you around the side real good. Yep.
Okay, how about the interior? What do we have in the inside? Here
down below, it's got a AC/DC refrigerator, shore power. It's also got a fixed china head with a holding tank and an enclosed shower.
So you can really stay on the boat.
Exactly.
It's got all the creature comforts if wife, kids want to go fishing with us, stuff like
family,
that. I know that has
very family oriented.
Yeah,
that's
the thing.
For sure.
And you got two twin 200s on this?
200s.
Okay.
Yep.
you know, I'm a bass fisherman and all that kind of stuff. We always talk about speed. What's our numbers on this
Well,
boat?
top speed is speed's not an issue mainly with this type of boat, but she does close to 48 or so with the power. And
so you can get out to someplace if you're going fishing within a
reasonable amount of time.
That's
exactly.
very good.
Exactly.
That's
Cruise speed's probably around 30 miles an hour.
One of the things that you mentioned while we were just chatting a little bit before was that Stratos is what, the biggest? The world's largest fishing boat?
Well, as far as that's concerned, OMC is the owner of the, OMC Fishing Group is the largest in the industry as far as fish boats are concerned.
Fishing boats, so you're putting out
right now we're the largest in the country for Stratus saltwater boats.
You are your business down there in Causeway Marine.
That's right.
So you got a beautiful setup here. I mean, you know, when you see all the boats here, you get all excited and you want to go fishing. I understand that, but you have a very nice setup here. I appreciate your time.
Hey,
I hope
appreciate
good luck at the show, and
anytime.
maybe we can get out fishing sometime.
All right, sounds great.
All right?
Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much.
You bet. Take care.
Yeah.
Along with any quality boat, you need quality equipment. And we were lucky enough to be invited to a local rod manufacturing facility out in Spring City, Versatex Rods. We're going to be able to see how a quality rod is made. So let's just go and see how a rod is done.
Fred, Bob Murray, how you doing?
Morning, Bob.
We're here today with Fred Claghorn of Versatex Industries. Fred was kind enough to invite us to his company here to see how rods are made. Fred, tell me just a little bit about your company.
Well, Versatex manufactures a complete line of American-made fishing rods. Saltwater and freshwater, from fly fishing all the way to deep sea.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, I see some wonderful rods out in your showroom there, and I'm kind of excited about getting into the nuts and bolts of it. I know that you have another fellow here that's going to take us through that, your design man. What's your design man?
Steve Matson.
All right, Steve is the guy who's going to design and show us how really rod is made, right?
That's correct.
Okay, well, let's get in. I'm all excited about doing that. Come on.
That's great. Okay. Bob, I'd like to introduce you to Steve Matson, our design engineer.
Hi, Steve.
How are you,
doing?
Bob?
Steve. Good. We're going to go through all this stuff now. I'm kind of excited here. This is a good thing. Steve, a lot of people, you know, when we get out fishing and stuff like that, they want to know, you know, what kind of rod do I use for this? What kind of rod do I do that? And I'm telling you, rod is nothing but a tool. And for every job that you have, you need a specific tool. Now, we have a variety of rods here that run the gamut from saltwater to freshwater and everything. But I want to talk basically about blanks first, okay?
Okay.
What a blank is and how it becomes a rod. Now, we have this blank here. Tell me something about this blank right now.
This is a saltwater solid fiberglass blank, very durable, and we can make a number of different rods on that. We can make boat rods, conventional boat rods, boat spin rods, trolling rods.
So this would be a rod that you would get on a party boat or a charter boat or something like that. You could custom make this to a boat captain's needs, am I correct?
Yes.
Very durable, it's solid, handle a pretty good fish.
Yes, it will.
Okay. Now we're going to go to this blank here. Very, very nice finish on this. What type of blank do I have in my hands now?
This is a hollow fiberglass. We use e-glass, and we build both fresh and saltwater rods on this kind of blank.
Okay, so if a guy's looking to have a rod made, or he's going to buy a rod, and he knows an e-glass rod is this hollow fiberglass rod. This is pretty durable too, am I correct?
Yeah, very strong. It's lighter in weight than solid fiberglass.
I can feel that.
Still very durable, and you know, it's a bit more fancy. It's a step up.
It's a step up from that. Okay, now we're going to go to this here. Now you know that I'm excited about this. This is absolutely gorgeous stuff. This blank here, what are we talking now?
IM6 graphite.
Okay, this is IM6. A lot of guys, when they see a rod, they'll say, oh, it's IM6. Why did you guys choose IM6 for your rods here?
We've chosen the IM6 for its strength and durability and its lightness.
Oh, the difference between these two here is just amazing. Now this does a certain job too.
Sure.
But this rod here, this blank here, I should say, is just so light. It's unbelievable. Again, if you're having that rod in your hand all day long, you want something like that. It's very durable, and from using these rods, I know very sensitive too. Very much more sensitive than say a solid fiberglass rod. Okay, now Steve, you've been nice enough to volunteer, I should say, to put a rod together for us, and we're going to show some of the aspects of putting a rod together here. One thing, I just want to go through a few different things here. We do have a solid glass blank here, and you were showing me with something that I didn't know. I'm going to pull this one out here. This rod here is a saltwater boat rod, am I correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, but the guide on here is kind of a special thing. Tell us just a little bit about this guide right here.
We call this a non-fouling guide. It's a just a coil of stainless steel, great for party boat captains.
How about the average guy, though? Would the average
sure,
guy?
the average guy could use that. But it's almost indestructible. You can step on that thing and just throw a pair of pliers on it, straighten it out. You're not going to break that thing.
That's amazing, because when you talked about that before, I was just like, wow. Okay, that's one type of guide, and guides are very important. I'm going to go through this. This rod here that you have here, again, it's a boat rod, but these guides are specific guides too. Now, what are these guides for?
These are carbaloid guides, very hard material. We've had a lot of call in the past couple years for wireline trolling, and this is very hard. Guys using wireline, it's not, no grooves are going to occur.
Okay, so that's one thing that I want to point out, was that when you're looking for a ride and you're doing something very specific, here's the thing you got to do. I wouldn't want to start putting wire through this. It would start pulling grooves and everything.
Yeah, correct.
So you would want to do this as a specific thing of wireline trolling, which I know is becoming more popular. Okay, now we have these are just beautiful rods. I mean, I hope you can see how beautiful these rods are. I love the color combination. Now look at this guide here. This is just what we call a roller guide.
Roller guide, yes,
okay.
it is.
Tell us a little bit about this, Steve.
It's an offshore trolling rod, and they're using these roller guides to reduce line wear and just help that line strip off a lot easier
than you would have, say, with this rod or this. Okay.
A conventional guide with the rollers in there.
And
just
one of the things that I like to bring out, and this is fresh in salt water also, is that you hate to hook up with a big fish. What I always call the fish of a lifetime, because every time I catch one, it's going to be the fish of my lifetime. To have you lose a fish because you didn't have the proper guides on a rod. It might sound silly in some aspects, but it's not. It's very, very important to have the correct guides for the type of fishing you do. I know we have some other guides here that we're going to get to, but I just want to bring that out because I hate to have guys going, yeah, I'll take this rod, and boy, they hook up with something else, and it really hurts them. Okay, now we have one other guide. The guide's here on, this is a really beautiful little rod here on the IM6. Just talk about this rod, this rod here, with this kind of a guide and what it is.
That's a single foot spinning guide, and when we get into the graphite rods or even the E-glass freshwater, we use a single leg guide to keep the flexibility in that rod.
Very important to understand that, because a lot of times you'll see a 2-footed rod or 2-footed. See here.
Sure.
And here's one here. I don't know if you can actually see it, Mike. I'm trying to do that. Can I have a bigger one, Steve, with 2 feet on it?
Sure. Here's one.
Okay.
Or even this.
Okay. These are what I'm talking about versus a single foot. Okay, and this is what you want. You don't want this on this rod because you want the flexibility of it. So it's important to see that when you do put a rod together, especially on this the IM6 stuff, the real sensitive stuff, and it makes a big difference when you're out there fishing. Okay, let's just look at some of these other components here real quickly. Steve, you were talking to me about the butts here. Mm-hmm. Okay, these are aluminum. What's the advantage of aluminum other than the fact that it's probably salt resistant?
Sure. One of the great things about these aluminum butts, which are used on the big game rods, when the guys get a big hookup, very easy to come out of the rod holders.
So if you got a big, I mean, this is a beautiful.
That goes on a real big rods, the 130 pounds.
130 pound class rod type thing. Okay, so this is easy to get out of the rod, and then they could hook it into whatever they're going to do here. Okay, we also have, I don't think this has changed in how long, right? It's your basic
wood butt.
Wooden butt. Now these basically, you would think they would go on.
You know, some of these solid fiberglass rods.
Solid fiberglass, a boat rod.
Still really durable.
Durable. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, now we always have a debate over this between my friends that were fishing, whether we use this or whether we use this. Okay, obviously we have here cork, and you have what do you call it?
We call that EVA.
EVA. obviously it's spongy, it's soft, it's some sort of a
It's a high density foam.
right? What would you use this for? What would you use this for?
The cork.
I like the cork.
Yeah, the
That's
cork
what
more
we
and more.
talked
You're
about.
a bass
Right,
fisherman,
right.
really going on the real light blanks, the graphite blanks. It's very light, and it also is as sensitive as it gets. It's more sensitive than the foam. So
That's what I find. I find that it's much more sensitive. I mean, I see you have some fly rods here with the cork on it. Been around forever with that. I like that. Other guys have said that they like this. They just like the feel of it.
Yeah, it's soft in your hand.
Yeah.
You don't get tired of holding it.
Yeah.
But again, not as sensitive.
Right. Even like sometimes guys say in the wintertime, it's black, it's dark, your hands, I mean, if you're walleye fishing and stuff like that, it's better for you. Okay, we saw some of the parts. We saw some of the rods here. Now, I want you to take me and let's put a rod together, okay? I think we have some stuff down here.
Yeah, I'll show you a couple steps.
All right, we're here in front of a computer. It's amazing today, everything is computerized. Steve is going to show us a demonstration of how a rod is wrapped. But one thing that we want to stress here about the computer is that it gives consistency to the wrapping, and I can tell you I want a rod built such and such a way, and it's already built into the computer. Steve, just give us a little bit more about the computer situation here.
Well, from when we've started to now, we've got so many models, and it's just hard to keep track of them manually. So we can, whatever rod we have, we can take the specifications and pop it into the computer. Then we can come back to it anytime in a week, in a year, and the information's there, and we can make the same thing again to the same specifications.
And that's important because you don't want things to be changing, because I expect to have a certain thing, or a captain expects certain things,
sure,
and that'll be it. Okay, you said you were going to put down, what do we call this now?
An underwrap.
Okay, what's an underwrap for us?
It's a layer of thread that goes directly to the blank, and then the guide will go on top of that, and that gives it added strength.
So when you see a rod that has an underwrap versus a rod that's doesn't have an underwrap, you can tell the difference in the quality. It's much stronger and more durable, I guess, and a better footing for the rod.
Correct.
The thing. Okay. Now I know this is going to be a little loud, so I'll stop talking, and you can go ahead and show us exactly how you lay it down. Okay, so now that's a completed thing. Now that's been put into the computer now, so that the computer knows that would be for this rod blank to actually do that.
And that'll be the same length every time.
Every time, the same spot, every time on whatever specific blank you have.
Yes.
Okay, this is the computer side. Okay, over there is my favorite place, as you know, and that's where the special hand wrapping and your diamond and all the other stuff, and how the rods are dried and stuff like that. I really want to get into that because it's just a special place, and I think it's interesting for people to see exactly what a full rod would be done from when you put the diamond wrap on it, to the guides, to the drying situation. Okay, so let's go in there and do it.
Let's go.
All right, Steve, we're in the finish room here now, where we're doing some of the custom work. Explain what we have in front of us right now.
Okay, this is our 50-pound trolling rod, which earlier we laid the underwraps out on the machine.
Okay.
We've since also tied the guides on the machinery, and now we're working on the diamond work down near the handle.
Okay, explain diamond work. What is diamond work?
Well, this is a high-end rod. It's a nice rod. A guy's going to pay he's going to pay a nice dollar for it. So this is just making it look nice and fancy.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with making it work any better.
No,
it's just a little
it's
signature
cosmetics
piece that when you're out there, you look good with it.
Yep,
and
you feel proud to have
it. Right, you always want to look good when you're fishing. Okay, now this is hand done.
Correct.
Go ahead and show us exactly how you would.
We've already laid a couple colors on. Now we will lay a couple more. I've got a little jig here, which when I'm using more than one thread helps to keep them straight.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna tape this to start with, and I'm gonna go.
Now Now, while you're doing that, you're using gold because of the finish here. It looks really nice.
Yeah, it matches.
But I see a variety of colors. You can match if you wanted the red or the green, or if you had I guess a lighter color rod, obviously the blues and stuff like that.
Yep, it's only thread. I mean, any cosmetics you could dream up could be made on a rod.
And I've seen some pictures of some amazing wrappings. This is the time-consuming part of making a custom type finish.
Takes a bit of time, but it adds that it adds that personal touch.
Yeah.
You know, as we said, makes a guy proud to have it.
And it does finish off the rod.
Yeah, you can see the diamond shape starting to come out there.
Now, approximately how long does it take you to do a finished wrap?
We can do a complete one of these in about 15 minutes.
You did the diamond thing in about 15 minutes. Okay.
From start to finish.
Start to finish. Oh, and I could see, you definitely see the diamond thing now. Okay. Let's just finish it off here. Now, you would obviously complete this more, am I correct? More diamonding. All right, now, we've got the rod finished.
Yes.
We still have to do something with these because this is not good to have exposed like that.
Sure.
What's our next step?
Next step, we'll go over and put epoxy over all the thread.
So we'll put epoxy on the threads here, and that does...
That seals it off. That finishes the rod.
So that no frayed line or anything...
Correct. The guide will not come off the rod at that point.
Okay. Well, let's go over to the finished thing. We'll put some epoxy on it, and then we'll get to see what a finished rod looks like.
You got it. Okay. All right, Bob. I've taken you pretty much through now, and now we're up to the epoxy stage.
Okay, which will seal the...
Which will seal all the threads in.
Okay.
We'll put it up in the drying rack, and we'll let it go overnight.
And then it'll be dry. And
then it'll be dry.
Well, Fred, I want to thank you very much for the tour today. It was very informative. I'm sure all the people watching this show will just be amazed at what actually can be done when you build a rod. Versatex has been very kind to us. I want to thank you again for the show.
Well, I want to thank you for coming, Bob, and we'd like to give you one of our new E-Glass crankbait rods.
You know how that means. I like crankbait fishing, and I'm sure I'll put it to good use. Okay, well, that's it for this week's edition of Delaware Valley Outdoors. I'll see you next week on Delaware Valley Outdoors.